the Great War, a crucible that tested nations, strained resources, and demanded sacrifice from every corner of society. In Great Britain, as the conflict dragged on, as the boat blockades tightened their grip and shortages began to bite, the call for austerity, for rationing, for every citizen to do their bit grew louder. And at the very apex of this society, within the gilded walls of Buckingham Palace, King George V and Queen Mary made a resolute, deeply symbolic decision. They would not be exempt. The royal household would share in the nation's privations. This was not a token gesture, a mere public relations exercise. This was a genuine, comprehensive program of wartime economy, voluntarily imposed by the king and queen upon themselves and their entire household. It was a quiet but powerful statement. If the people were tightening their belts, so too would their sovereign. The austerity measures implemented at Buckingham Palace were surprisingly rigorous. Food rations, which were becoming a reality for ordinary Britons, were strictly observed within the royal kitchens. Lavish banquets and elaborate multi-course meals became a thing of the past. Simpler fare, utilizing ingredients that were not in short supply, became the norm. The king and queen themselves set the example, partaking in the same restricted diet as their subjects. One can imagine the contrast with the opulent dining of the pre-war Edwardian era. But the cutbacks went far beyond the dining table. The vast expanse of Buckingham Palace, with its countless rooms and corridors, consumed enormous amounts of electricity for lighting and coal for heating. Under the king and queen's directive, consumption was drastically reduced. Lights were switched off in unused areas. Heating was curtailed, with fires laid only in essential rooms. Many of the grand state apartments, symbols of peacetime royal splendor, were closed altogether, shrouded in dust sheets, their chandeliers dark, their fireplaces cold. The palace, in a sense, partially hibernated, conserving precious fuel for the war effort. Even personal comforts were curtailed. It's said that lines were drawn on bathtubs to limit the amount of hot water used, a practice Queen Mary herself reportedly adhered to. The royal cellars, once stocked with fine wines, saw their contents depleted not by lavish consumption, but often by being offered to military hospitals or for charitable auctions. The entire ethos of the household shifted from one of peacetime abundance to wartime frugality. Why this deliberate embrace of hardship? King George V and Queen Mary possessed a profound sense of duty and a keen understanding of public sentiment. They knew that for the monarchy to retain the respect and loyalty of the people during such a trying period, it had to be seen to be sharing their burdens. Any perception of royal extravagance while ordinary families struggled would have been deeply damaging. Their actions were a powerful demonstration of solidarity. The suspense here is not of drama or danger, but of quiet resolve and moral leadership. Could the monarchy, accustomed to centuries of privilege, truly adapt to such austerity? The answer was a resounding yes. Queen Mary, with her renowned organizational skills and meticulous attention to detail, personally oversaw many of these measures, ensuring they were effectively implemented. She was the driving force behind much of this domestic wartime economy. Imagine the atmosphere within Buckingham Palace during these years. Quieter, colder, more subdued. Staff numbers were likely reduced, with many having joined the armed forces. The rhythm of life would have been starkly different from the glittering social seasons of the past. Yet this austerity also fostered a sense of shared purpose, a feeling that everyone, from the king down to the humblest scullery maid, was contributing to the national effort. These voluntary restrictions were not hidden away. They were, in a subtle way, made known. It was important for the public to understand that their king and queen were not insulated from the realities of war. This shared experience, this willingness to sacrifice, forged a powerful bond between the crown and the people, a bond that would prove crucial in navigating the turbulent post-war years. The image of Buckingham Palace operating under wartime rationing, with darkened rooms and simpler meals, is a potent one. It speaks to a monarchy that understood its role not just as a symbol of power, but as a symbol of national unity and resilience. King George V and Queen Mary, through their personal example of thrift and sacrifice, demonstrated that the crown stood with its people, sharing their hardships, embodying the spirit of a nation determined to endure and overcome. A quiet austerity, perhaps, but one that resonated deeply across a war-weary land.